GM, Kyle, are you
GM,
there?
GM.
Good to see you again. Good to be back.
Loving them. Loving these shows.
For sure. So, just to kind of clarify to anybody listening, we do these kind of impromptu shows without much of a plan, and we've got a couple of things that we think we could talk about. So we found the recent article by Coinbase demystifying the crypto AI stack, and we think we might, go through that and just have a discussion. About that. And we did also just release a new podcast episode with Hailey, and specifically with Sylv Chalet, I believe his name is. He's the CEO, the founder and CEO of Hailey. And yeah, you can catch that on YouTube and Spotify. The links are on the House of ZK profile, and yeah, we may just have like a little chat about Hailey and see what they're up to.
I was thinking the
Was
same
there any?
thing.
Cool, sounds good. So, unless there's anything else you want to start with, Kyle, I mean, whatever's on the top of your head, or completely up
No. I
to you, to
think
be honest.
we can get to the Coinbase after. I'm curious about Hailey. See what they're up to.
Okay, I'm going to share my Twitter screen in that case. So yeah, here we are. Hailey. So I believe that is Hyle. So Hailey is a lean blockchain that helps you build provable applications that are minimally yet sufficiently on-chain. So it's essentially a layer one blockchain that uses ZK, kind of like similar to Mina Protocol. I don't see any hint of like privacy functions within this description at all. So I think it's just very much like a Mina Protocol. Or perhaps they make building with ZK easy on this layer one blockchain. So you're able to build provable applications that are minimal yet sufficiently on chain. So I wonder if they have like a blurb or something. If I were to go to the Hailey website, I'll share this tab instead. And let's just take a quick look at their blog posts. So Sylv recently went on Daria's podcast too. It'd be nice if we could just see like a broad overview about Hailey, I
Yeah.
think.
I was quite
I
curious
mean,
to see
Sylv.
what they. Sorry.
No, sorry. I was just going to say, Sylv discusses Hailey in depth, and he discusses the vision behind Hailey, like the reason for Hailey's existence. He talks about like the broader ZK space, talks about the gap that Hailey planned to fill with it within the space. So, for anybody interested in doing a really deep dive into this, you've got basically an hour of Sylv describing this to you perfectly in our most recent podcast release. But in terms of, sorry, Carl, I did cut you off there. What was the?
No, I was just wondering what they used to build their blockchain. Like if it was like Substrate or just curious. I'll find their GitHub. Maybe post it down below this later.
Sounds good. I mean, we could go back to May 2024 when they first, their first blog post about their raise. Okay, maybe this one looks like the one, Brave New Provable World. This looks quite vision based. So this is by Sylv, and I did listen to some of. So Sylv said that he got into the space through, more through like the vision and crypto anarchy side of things, rather than coming in for the money. He said it was like the reverse for him. Like he came in for the the vision and what we can achieve, and he kind of stayed for the money. So that's how he put it. So it's like almost the reverse of how most people get into the space.
Oh, their
But
links are broken. I was trying to find their GitHub now. Seems like I was just pointing to Twitter at the moment.
gotcha. This could be interesting. So taking crypto back to crypto. The crypto and cryptocurrency comes from the ethos of cypherpunks, the folks who actually built so many of the foundations for today's systems. So yeah, this is kind of like, this is right up my street, to be honest. This is the kind of stuff that I'm interested in, not so much the developer centric side of things. But so people need to care. Back in the 1980s, they were really adamant that people should care about trustlessness and decentralization. To them, it was incredibly important to have these tools of decentralization and trustlessness, such as having everyone use their own PGP key, to care about them and understand why privacy is important. Today, we can reasonably say that the tools exist, but people still don't care. And in the end, maybe in the 2020s, we can feel like that's okay. If we build these trustless affordances and leverage them without people needing to care, then that might be the best way to go. So yeah, I'm actually very much of this opinion too. Like most people just don't care. They really don't. And you kind of gotta build this stuff regardless and make it like highly adoptable. Make the user experience good and better for them to actually care and adopt this stuff. It's not so much coming from most people don't have these fundamental like ideals and like strong principles and visions behind what they're doing, and especially when it comes to crypto, like most people are very, very clearly driven by the money and profit. So it's nice to see Highly talking about this.
Yeah, I do
Sorry.
think like a lot of people come in with that in mind and then do end up staying, because at some point you do have to do a little bit of your own research. Then you realize just how great this technology is and how important. You just tend to stay. When was this article written? Sorry, I didn't catch that.
This was like an early article from, I'm guessing, like May 2024, so quite a while ago.
Oh, okay.
But what made me click on this one is it seemed like a good pointer towards the vision behind Highly.
Yeah.
Like for the developer-centric stuff, this probably isn't the show to learn about that. I'm sure you can go on a GitHub, or I'm sure Sylv talks about that kind of thing too. But I'm more interested in the vision behind Highly and what kind of principles they're kind of building on top of. What I will do now is I'll come back to Twitter. Excuse me, just one moment.
They're quite new. Looking at them now, joined in February 2024. And then in May, they're posting things. They really hit the ground running.
Yeah, I only found out about Highly, I don't know, 3 or 4 months ago. I believe one of the team got in touch with me. And I've been in discussions with them since. They've just sponsored our ZK Hub. Leading up to DevCon, we have a couple of days of like panels, interviews, workshops, various things. And essentially it's going to be like a collection of side events. So like Risk Zero, Alio, ZKM, Kakarot, basically most of the biggest projects in the ZK space, I would say. At least my favorite.
All
projects.
of them. Yeah, I agree.
They'll be gathering in this like one building essentially, and you kind of have your pick of all these like prestigious side events leading up to DevCon, and there'll also be like a main stage. We'll be hosting people like Yuma Roy and just like many big names in the space. Oh, unfortunately, my laptop is telling me that my laptop mouse is low on battery, so just bear with me. I'm just gonna plug it in. Not ideal, but anyway, anybody who wants to check out ZK Hub, well, you can go on the House of ZK website, check out our events section, and learn all about ZK Hub and how you can attend. But like I say, you probably don't want to miss that one, especially if you're in the ZK space. So what can we move on to? Let's move on to the Coinbase article. I believe you've read this one, Kyle, and I haven't.
Yeah.
But
I just went through just a little bit of the highlights of the article. I think some of the best takeaways, maybe we go through it and we can come to that. Basically they segment AI into 2 sections, where there's this decentralized AI and then an on-chain AI. And the decentralized one is kind of everything is very abstract and all over. And then on-chain AI it's actually AI that works for you to complete certain kinds of functions and I guess tasks. And then they go in through like companies.
Interesting. So is there any particular section of this that you'd recommend to scroll to discuss, or should I start with the overview at the top? We've got a TLDR here, so that could be a good place to.
Yeah.
If I just briefly read this one off. So the future of AI can be built on blockchain technology, as crypto can help increase accessibility, transparency, and use cases within the emerging tech. The convergence of crypto's efficiency, borderless nature, and programmability with AI has the potential to transform how humans and machines interact with the digital economy, including by enabling users to have sovereignty over their personal data. This includes the rise of the agentic web, where AI agents operating on crypto infrastructure can drive economic activity and growth. Oh my goodness! I mean,
It's quite a mouthful.
it's a it's a
I
it's a
believe
it's a mouthful, but
uh,
it's a conceptual mouthful as well. It's
yeah.
just like, oh my goodness, like where on earth are we going with AI and crypto? It's just mind
So I
blowing. But
think the term agentic web, from my understanding, it's where AI does the functions of humans. You know, like we can all just sit on the beach. I think that's been the coin term for that whole notion.
yeah, I think, or at least joining in with the activity of humans. So
Yeah.
to quote this, where AI agents operating on crypto infrastructure can drive economic activity and growth. So they're essentially acting as, I guess, what we call productive humans and
Mm.
doing jobs and tasks, that maybe humans, don't need to do anymore, or maybe there's, new things that AI can do that we weren't able to do before, and they'll be doing these kinds of things operating on top of blockchain infrastructure. So yeah, very interesting and I guess scary at the same time, at least from my perspective.
The
Um,
scariness being like, look how many companies there are already. It's 2024.
mhm.
it's it's amazing. Just LLMs haven't been out. Well, they have mainstream attention now, but it hasn't been this way for very long. And most of these
Well, this
companies, I'd assume, are very new.
well, the scary thing for me isn't so much how many companies there are now. It's kind of I've got this really strong feeling that we've barely. I think it's pretty obvious to me. I don't know if it is to everybody else, but we've barely scratched the surface with what AI is potentially capable of. Minutely, 0.01% of the potential functions and capacity and ability of AI to perform things that we can't even imagine right now in the future.
Mm.
We're just we're just very, 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 very early in this. I say we're very early with ZK. We're unbelievably early with AI, and
Mm.
yeah, I think the future is going to look like we all imagine the future would look, providing nothing catastrophic happens, but everything's just going to be so advanced, and AI is just gonna is gonna we're in this exponential phase. We have been in this exponential phase of technological development for a long time now. What we see as an exponential phase, but I think AI is going to take that to an entirely new level when it's able to. I don't know, but maybe I shouldn't go too deep into this. Maybe I should just focus on the article. But
Yeah,
it's
but
just I think we're just barely scratching the surface of what AI is going to be able to do.
I saw this very funny comment, and they're saying that AI is actually working in the opposite way we want. You know, it's here to do your work so that you get time to do the dishes, but it actually should be the inverse. I just thought it was such a funny take on what it is actually helping us at the moment and what we truly do want it, where we do really need its help. I look
Mhm.
forward to a no dishwasher future.
Yeah, I'm not sure. I mean, this is a big question. Just like where people in general are going to find their sense of like value and
Mm.
self worth, and if AI is doing everything for us, and we're essentially free to just exist, and yeah, I don't know, like how long is that fulfilling? Like I personally, and I think most people get there. We all think that we would love to not work and just live in some sort of paradise. But in reality, if you're in that position, how happy are you? You've got some of the richest people in the world. They're still working 16-hour days. You've got Elon Musk, the richest man in the world, and he's just purely focused on his mission, and he's not sitting around on the beach. And unless we all have that kind of same sense of purpose and sense of, this kind of shit's like really important. We've got to get it done. Unless we have things like that we're working on, and that kind of mentality, then who says that being free from having to do anything is going to bring any kind of happiness or like satisfaction? I don't think it will personally. But
Yes,
yeah, feel free to argue.
Yeah, well, if only argument I'd ever make there is that I think all the greatest inventions that ever come have always come from a place of being still and maybe bored. Maybe it's not a bad thing if humans get a little bit more bored.
Have they? Have they though? Because I would
Didn't like,
question that.
yeah. Oh, well, I know Mr. Newton. He had the apple on his head. He was just having a nice, calm day. But I think that's also been a lot of
That's a
speculation of if it
yeah.
ever really did happen.
That's a story. I'm pretty sure Sir Isaac Newton was like a hardcore scientist, and he probably worked his ass off trying to make discoveries and whatever. So I think the whole,
No, no,
sat
no.
there,
It's purely the apple falling.
yeah, it's gotta be. He was just chilling by his tree, and suddenly this breakthrough that
Yeah,
changed
that's that.
the foundations of our scientific understanding just kind of, But I mean, maybe something like that happened, but it's not to say that he was just being bored. It's like this guy's clearly heavily driven in some way or another. Um, but anyway, I would argue that the people that are doing the inventing are, they're not. It's not because they're sat around bored with nothing better to do. It's because they're hardcore driven by some kind of purpose. Whether it's financial, whether it's a sense of needing to progress. We've all got our own reasons for doing the things we do. So, but anyway, so
Yeah.
did you say there was a particular aspect of this that we could look at? So we've got an introduction
Um,
here.
I think the data layer is pretty interesting. Oh, but maybe go through the article for a bit.
Well, the thing I don't really want to. Well, I mean, I can if I'm sure nobody else wants me to just sit and read the article.
Oh, I think maybe looking at the companies. One in particular was quite nice. At the end of the article, they start suggesting quite a few things, and it's more from a business to business kind of side of things.
I'm struggling to function without a mouse right now, so please bear with me.
Okay.
In fact, they don't take long to charge. Sorry, give me like 10 seconds. Okay, right, we're back. So the end of the article. So essentially like applications.
So one wallet that I've never seen anything like this before, is the Dawn wallet. So they have, I think it functions as a regular wallet and backed by certain RPC calls of Alchemy, I would assume. And then they have their AI agent that sits and confirms transactions, which is quite interesting. Like, how would you put in, the wallet address? Can you go back on something? Is there Siri functionality? It's quite interesting to have a wallet that could do these functions for us. And then Venice is an AI agent, very similar to ChatGPT, but they say they're very big on privacy. So I wonder perhaps if they have some sort of ZK integration.
Yeah, verifiable inference and privacy preservation mechanism. It sounds pretty ZK
Yeah, it
related.
does.
However, app development is still largely experimental and opportunistic, with a disarray of app ideas blooming from hype in the space. With that said, we believe advancements in the AI agent infrastructure and frameworks are poised to shift the crypto design space from primarily reactive smart contract applications to more complex proactive applications in the medium to long term. Emerging segments and sample projects building at this layer include the following: AI companions, NLP-based interfaces. That's what you mentioned earlier, right? I think. Dev security tools, risk agents. Okay, and the list goes on.
WorldCoin is something I've never fully grasped or spent too much time looking at WorldCoin. If you go down, I think that's the guys from ChatGPT created one of the owners.
Yes, I believe so. OpenAI. Yeah.
Yeah.
So go down. Where's this? Sorry.
Oh no, that's WorldCoin is a little bit up. It's their identity, proof of personhood.
E.g. WorldCoin. Interesting. So apps that leverage cryptographic proofs and machine learning models to verify users' proof of personhood. E.g. WorldCoin. I mean, we can look into WorldCoin if you like.
Yeah.
I'm easy.
Yeah. It was quite interesting when they began. They sent these orbs around to do like biometric scans, and then you would the staff members who did it or the people who owned the orbs would get some sort of kickback or incentivized somehow. So I guess they want to be able to use it mostly primarily for like some sort of payment like system when if you walk into the shops, you don't have to take out a card or something. But also MIT, the MIT Technology Review kind of went out and slammed the whole project a couple of months ago, saying that it's kind of misleading advertising. And yeah, so I'm not sure if it's all so great anymore. But they're a very big company, so it's just strange.
Well, I'm thinking I could read the conclusion and just maybe get a general gist of the entire article through the conclusion. So while the crypto AI stack is still in its nascent stages, that's my favorite word, nascent. I say that a lot in articles. Anyway, we believe there will be significant advancements in decentralized AI infrastructure, on-chain AI applications, and the emergence of an agentic web. Is this just the introduction, like worded differently? Where AI agents become the primary drivers of economic activity. While challenges remain in areas such as compute infrastructure and data availability, the synergies between crypto and AI could accelerate innovation in both sectors, leading to more transparent, decentralized, and autonomous systems. As the sounds like ChatGPT now too. As the landscape continues to rapidly evolve, driven by new teams securing funding and more established teams working towards finding product market fit, it will be crucial for internet native firms and developers to adapt to the changing paradigm and embrace the potential for crypto AI to create novel applications and experiences that were previously unimaginable. So that, I mean, I agree with the message. Yeah, I agree with the message. There's just so many people working on AI stuff, AI applications, AI development, and it's just going to grow and grow and grow. And AI is going to start. I mean, there's this argument. Have we ever discussed like the potential for AI to like work on itself? I've discussed this with like many people, but we haven't discussed this now. So it's almost like when AI becomes what's the word? Oh my goodness.
Self-aware, sentient.
Essentially. Yeah. And you know, is able to just essentially work on itself, but with endless computational resources. Like you have the human brain, and it's essentially a very, very limited computer. I know most people probably don't want to think of it that way, but if you look at it in reality, the way the neural networks work, and we're essentially very limited computers, and with unlimited compute, and AI is going to be able to do what we can do mentally, physically, astronomically better, more advanced. I don't know. I mean, I can't even imagine. I'm struggling for the right words to say because I just can't even imagine where this is going over the next 10, 20, 30 years.
If they can teach AI to like create some sort of like conceptual frame, I think that's really where things will change. Because as a human, the only way I feel better than an AI is able to interpret a good idea and a bad idea. Where AI
currently in 2024, and I would argue we're still in the Stone Age. Personally, but yeah, currently that's a different differentiating factor between us and the AI currently. But it's like I say, we've just started. This stuff's just begun. Because you know, I don't know. It's like when the computer was first invented or the internet was first invented. It was an absolute shadow of what it currently is. It very, very different, very, very primitive. That's where we are currently with AI, you know. And yeah, I don't know. I keep hammering on the same point over and over again, so forgive me. But that's just like my big takeaway from listening to a lot of AI researchers, and most of them just can't really envision where this is going themselves. All they can say is the kind of things I'm saying. You know, it's going to far exceed what most of us can possibly imagine. Anyway, is there? Shall we move on to something else, or shall we take a look at WorldCoin? Was that something you wanted to?
Maybe, yeah, we could do WorldCoin. There's also some interesting stats from Visa with the stable coins. Yeah, quite a few things.
Well, I'm currently clicking on.
Yeah, I can see the screen. No, I can see.
Oh, okay. The Real Human Network. Identity. I mean, I wouldn't bet against OpenAI. So
Yeah, same.
Unfortunately, I mean, I don't know about their ethical background. I don't know whether they're focused on doing all of this in a controlled and ethical way. You've got people like Elon Musk who seem to think that they're not. Who seem to think that they're, they become closed source, and they're not
Yes.
sharing a lot of their, their development and things like
He
that.
took
And
them
the whole
to
point of
court.
OpenAI, the whole point of the name OpenAI was like being named after open source, to open source AI and make everything able to be controlled, and remove this hard centralizing factor from the whole like development process. But yeah, didn't they close source and everything? So
Yeah, but I get like protecting your IP and things like that. But I think when it comes to, if you're such a big company, you should just open source. You know, everyone can make a new Twitter now. Doesn't mean everyone will join it. So I think for ethical reasons, it's better.
yeah, Elon Musk makes a lot of good points around this. I can't recall off the top of my head. I won't try to quote, but everyone knows where to find Elon Musk if they want to listen to those views.
7 million people on it. Well, that's not that many. Well, there's a lot, but not as many as I thought there'd be. Where are they targeting people? What does the map look like?
Yeah, I don't know. I don't think this is a
Europe.
map that essentially talks about. Well, I don't know. There's nothing in Africa. There's nothing in Australia. There's nothing in most of Asia. I don't know what these. You got Japan here. Unique humans, world app users, wallet transactions, active orbs. I'm guessing. Well, orbs, some kind of node.
That's the no. Well, I'm not sure. That could well be, but I just remember the orb being the red, like the eye scanner.
Oh wow. Okay. Oh my goodness. I don't know if I want to explore AI anymore. It scares me so much. Like, I think maybe I've watched too many sci-fi films, but it just really does seem to be going in that direction. Yeah, I don't know. Did we have anything? Do we have anything else we wanted to talk about besides AI? Should we take a look through the ZK space and see what's going on in general?
Yeah.
Let me find my
the ZK space being the event.
No, I'm just more thinking like general Twitter explorations and just kind of see.
I enjoy these a lot, to be honest.
We can just type ZKVM into the search bar and see what comes up. So Nexus.
Nexus.
That's a good reminder. I am actually trying to get Nexus to ZK Hub, and we're looking very, very full on the program now. I'm not actually sure there's any space. My goodness, I completely forgot. But I mean, I sent an invitation to Nexus. I think it was on Friday, and yeah, if people, I mean, for anybody listening, if anybody has been invited to speak at ZK Hub or to do like a podcast interview or a workshop or whatever, like slots are filling up very, very quickly. We don't have much left, so my advice is if you want to get involved, please like respond ASAP. Don't sit on it for too long. But yeah, anyway, just some facts. ZK proof miners generate proofs using ZKVM. Yeah, this is the problem. I want to find something. I want to find something I can really like dig into. I guess maybe the Nexus stuff. Since this
there is $25 million. Damn, that's incredible.
What's that? Sorry, what did I miss?
Nexus raised. It just said they raised 25 million. Yeah, this Jeepers.
Yeah, I mean Nexus.
Good for them.
Nexus, they've got like a GigaBrain team. I think they're like Stanford professors and all this kind of stuff. So that's not surprising at all. They don't seem to like do much marketing or anything like that, but they're just hardcore focused on research and building. You know, they're like a proper, like a real
Who are
serious
their
project.
affiliates?
Affiliates question. Oh my goodness, Alex
Family
Fowler.
office.
Jens Groth. So cryptology in University College London. Honorary professor of cryptology at the University of College London. Chief scientist at Nexus. You've got Daniel Martin, who's the CEO. Yeah, he's Stanford.
I see this man a lot. Yeah, I see his tweets a lot.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we now follow.
It's not much marketing at all, but the graphics are great. So I'm sure they're just very internal.
Yeah, they're building. They're not showing off as such. Yeah, but really interesting project. Let's take a look.
In fact, there are 174 people connected to the network. And what the network is doing is attempting to prove arbitrary programs in a massively parallelized fashion. So all of your devices right now, we are using your idle compute to compute zero knowledge proofs, to prove computation. In fact, there are.
So there's an interesting concept in itself. Tapping into unused GPU sources and using that compute to generate zero knowledge proofs. So rather than having to have these essentially like huge servers like an Amazon web server or whatever it may be, you're able to bring all of this idle GPU power from different systems, whether it's a laptop or a phone, or I heard somebody a long time say in a fridge, like fridges have GPUs apparently. I don't know yet. You're able to somehow tap it.
Yeah, it's like a botnet. Yeah, this is interesting. So they took that kind of philosophy and wow, I've never seen it. Usually that kind of technology is used for bad actors. So it's very interesting to it's finally like flipped on its head.
I think the idea is you're able to outsource computations to, like I say, these idle GPUs all over the world, all different systems, because you're able to verify the correctness of what the GPU, of the computation being run on the GPUs. You're able to verify the correctness with proofs. You're able to bring aggregate these proofs, bring them back into a single proof. I'm not a technical person, so anybody listening, do your own research and definitely don't listen to me. So, but this is my vague, basic understanding of how it works, and so that's another thing ZK enables. It enables essentially limitless compute without needing to. Or Stanford Blockchain Club, let's follow them too. Yeah, without needing to rely on like centralized web servers.
The Stanford Blockchain Club is an extremely interesting page. Interesting. I'm going to definitely spend a bit of time on Nexus. That's novel.
Yeah, I would definitely spend a bit of time on Nexus. I don't think you can go far wrong by doing so. So let's go back to the feed. Let's just take another scroll through. Introducing Goat Network, Zara Nasiskak, blockchain and crypto enthusiast ambassador. Take a look. Oh, okay. I don't know. Looks a bit ChatGPT.
There's a rocket ship.
Yeah, I'm not. I'm not a fan of these rocket ship emojis. It's not my cup of tea. That just says to me, move on fast. Avoid. A lot of Goat Network stuff coming up. Sherry. What is this? Is this just a Twitter algorithm pushing all this? Yeah, it is. This is like top CKVM. So I guess Goat Network are coming up because of the CKM affiliation.
But I'm sure also the ambassador program seems to be doing quite well from the outside. Yeah, looks good.
Yeah, I'm not too sure, to be honest. I'm not really.
Do you know what's very interesting is the people behind LF0. They released a common AMA. They are releasing a new DEX that can be shielded it's still like in beta at the moment, and I believe sometime earlier this week they released their live test of it. It should be their first tweet.
Mhm.
Very, very interesting. Quite impressive. Yeah, there's sub-second shielding. Like, so it all comes from like a shielded pool.
I might have to get in touch with these guys and ask them to stop using rocket ship emojis, because I'm also an Aleph Zero fan. I'm not gonna hide the fact that I'm. So we hosted them on a podcast recently. That episode got released, I believe it was on last Thursday. So you can listen to Adam and Anthony, two of the co-founders. I believe there's 3 or 4 co-founders, maybe 3. But you can listen to Adam and Anthony on the House of ZK Radio podcast. Again, that's on our website, houseofzk.io, or just hozk.io. You can find that there. Excuse me. But yeah, so I listened to that one through, possibly a couple of times. One of the times I was kind of like flicking through to find clips for marketing and whatever. But I did listen to it through in full too, and those guys are, yeah, they're going places. Well, in my opinion, at least, like Aleph Zero seem to be very, very serious builders, very, very smart, very, very careful about what they say. I don't know. You can tell they've done a lot of
Mhm.
a lot of research, and I'm kind of excited about what they're doing. So you've got Alio, which just released like a layer 1 blockchain who's enabling privacy functions. The only 2 that I'm aware of that are doing that are Aleph Zero and Alio, like enabling privacy functions natively on on top of a layer 1. You've got like Aztec doing something similar for Ethereum, like privacy centric roll up or layer 2. But yeah, these projects are kind of pioneering the whole privacy side of things.
Mm.
So experience ZK OS in action. Our client-side ZK privacy tech now lets you shield your tokens and enjoy total on-chain privacy. Privately transfer assets to any Aleph Zero EVM address. So yeah, I remember when they released the news that they were now EVM compatible. So I think they essentially have like a layer 2 built on top of the Aleph Zero layer 1 that's EVM compatible. And I think that's how they did that. Protect your transactions from being tracked. Test the speed and power of ZK OS. So aren't you currently writing like an article on Aleph Zero?
Yeah, I could chew your ear off. Sultan.
Oh no,
Sorry,
please do.
yeah.
No. This is a this is a project we recently released a podcast with, so I'm more than happy
Hmm.
to dive into these guys.
So if you want to look at the demo, I think it's worthy, just a tip of the cap to whoever their UI designer was. I think this is one of the best websites of the year. It's beautiful.
Where am I?
So
Where am
yeah,
I clicking? Sorry.
this should open it up.
Okay.
So you would kind of transfer things, and then it would get, they would transfer it into a pool, from what I understand, and then you would claim from that. But it's quite incredible, and it even gives you like the analytics of how long the proof took. It's just incredible, like what they've put together. Yeah. So I'm very
Actually,
excited for the future. Yeah.
I don't want to click too many buttons, to be honest. But yeah, we'll see. Okay, let's go with this.
Yeah, so this is kind of how it works so far. An incredible. So they made a few design choices that I thought were quite interesting. Obviously, it being shielded removes a lot of potential vulnerabilities in a system where like front running can occur and people can get ahead of your transaction, and sandwich attacks can take place. Just a whole plethora of issues. They don't have
Well,
that.
that's not to mention the human issues of just I think it's kind of natural to just want to keep your transactions private. You don't want
Yeah.
everybody to see what you're doing.
Exactly.
There's many reasons, but yeah, the ones you named were good ones.
Yeah, and
So
then
it's essentially this is like a really clean DEX. It looks like a really basic clean UX DEX that enables you to opt for privacy. when making
Yes.
a transaction. That's yeah, okay. That
I love
seems pretty
the
novel.
yeah, like how modular it is. Like you can send a regular transaction or not. Everything seems to be working well, and sub-second is incredible.
Mhm. This
So
action transfers your assets to a shielded pool.
hmm,
Your actions performed on the assets within are private. This is your private account. Okay, fair enough. Get that.
so yeah, just incredible stuff. So based on it all, like when you actually send the transaction, it lands. No one can really tamper with it, see what's going on. If this was like native to all chains, I think there'd be a lot less like people in trouble who get hurt by this every day without realizing it's such a common thing. Um, it's just
Mhm.
incredible. Like really, really, their design choices were like brilliant.
Yeah, that's actually something that I believe it was Anthony who kind of like hammered on in the podcast. He said that to quote him, I believe it was something like that's Aleph Zero's North Star. Just trying to create like a really friendly user experience. I may even, if we look at the clip on the House of ZK, I can find it quickly. Is this it? No, this is the Heidi clip. If we can find the Aleph Zero clip, we could play that. And it was essentially something about Anthony talking about the UX and how that's like the priority for Aleph Zero. I mean, how much do we post? Oh, that's the actual podcast release. Where's the clip? Here we go.
Welcome to the House of ZK Radio. ZK, Zero Knowledge.
Can you hear this?
And our very special guests,
that's perfect.
Adam and Tony, the co-founders of Aleph Zero.
Right now, we see it more like an interchain world of mostly even chains where we want to be just a hub to offer a single utility for all of these chains. And this utility being privacy, of course.
I just say I'm getting like Arnold Schwarzenegger vibes from Adam. Please forgive me, Adam, if you're listening. But, that's not a bad thing. I love Arnold Schwarzenegger. He's like my favorite. But anyway,
if there are two things that we want to be known for as A0, that would be essentially this UX, which we understand by a proper combination of essentially front-end design, but also the back-end design, so that you have to design the back-end in a way that is easily integratable on the front end, and like the visual identity is something that just, it's a cherry on top. The overall take that we want the users to have after they've interacted with the product is that they actually enjoyed using it, and doesn't matter if it's private, non-private, it's just our North Star.
so yeah, essentially,
It's
what we
such
were
a good
talking about.
point. Yeah, and I love that they're focusing on making the back end like work well and integrate well into front ends. I'm not sure if he means this from a developer's point of view or like an end consumer, but I'm sure they, knowing them, they'll do it all perfectly. It's just really nice when companies think about developers, and when they're developing things, obviously the front end is the end game, and creating methods and tools to make that a little bit more accessible. A company who did that very well is Stack. I think they're Bitcoin L2, part of the Satoshi, that whole movement that's currently happening. I think that's going to be a big one, a very, very big one.
Stacks. I mean, they're like the OG Bitcoin L2. I think they've been around for many years, but they were. I believe it was like the Winklevoss brothers, kind of, very famous Bitcoin proponents, very early investors in Bitcoin, and I think they're like the major funders behind Stacks. But yeah, it's something I've been aware of for a very long time. But they're already kind of like leading the way, I think, with essentially scaling Bitcoin. Looks like they're doing a stream of sorts as well. But they're not like ZK based or anything like that. Bitcoin L2 enabling smart contracts and apps with Bitcoin as secure base layer. Stacks Nakamoto upgrade is live. Stacks transactions once confirmed are now at least as irreversible as Bitcoin's. Significant reduction in transaction times. Blah blah blah. Yeah. Okay.
I mean, this is quite a big deal, being able to use all that. So it says it's out now, but I think we're just waiting for the blocks to kind of get there. So it should be relatively soon, from what I understand. It'll actually be functional for developers to use and put things out.
Mm-hmm. So the Bitcoin L2s. I'm just thinking who we've got coming to ZK Hub. So we've got Citria coming. Let's take a look at Citria. ZK based, using RISC-Zero's ZK VM. The only rollup activating Bitcoin block space for developers to build decentralized applications and facilitate the most trust minimized way to use Bitcoin. Everybody's claiming this stuff, so I'm not gonna be for or against that statement. But everybody's claiming to be the only or the first and this that. But there's a lot of people building on Bitcoin. So the only rollup solution. Oh my goodness, yeah, the only. Everybody's the only. Bitcoin's first. Oh, it's also Bitcoin's first CK rollup. Hyperlane,
but I guess you
is
need to
now
do that.
encrypted.
Like, who's gonna fact check you? Might as well just.
Well, Ben from House of ZK is going to fact check you.
They've been using a lot of memes recently, Citria, with that orange frog. It's quite good. Some of them have landed quite well in the community.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean, Citria looks like a great project. I've been talking. I've been talking to these guys behind the scenes, and we secured them. I think was it yesterday? It might have been Sunday evening or something. We got the confirmation from Citria that they would be attending ZK Hub. So they'll be on a panel focused on using ZK to enable L2s on Bitcoin. That's essentially what the panel will be about, like a very brief overview. And I think we're also looking at Stefan Duan from Goat Network, also ZKM. We also have, I believe, Starkware are considering sitting on this panel because they're looking at connecting Ethereum and Bitcoin via their Starknet layer 2. So they're also looking, and Kakarot are also working with them on that. So we may have a Kakarot speaker on that panel too, but it's all a little bit uncertain at the moment. But yeah, here's your orange frog. From store of value to programmable internet infrastructure, keep building. So yeah, everybody's essentially trying to make Bitcoin more than just a store of value. They want it to be the backbone.
I think
of all financial infrastructure.
I think it's like great for everybody. More of that liquidity moving around, and we live in a world with unified liquidity and all these different super chains. I think it's a really good step to kind of start spreading things around and giving projects a little bit more, volume.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm all for all the firsts.
Yeah, I mean, does being the first really make things any better? Like, I don't know. I guess so. I guess Bitcoin was the first mover in the entire space, so look where that is. So yeah, maybe there's something in that. Citria is proud to be part of the BitVM Alliance. Interesting BitVM Alliance. Huh. Okay, I'm gonna have to save this this tweet. This is something that I'm I'll just be forthright. So potentially looking to hold a BitVM focused conference in the future through House of ZK, and kind of interested to see this BitVM Alliance. So joining forces to build trust minimized Bitcoin bridges
at the end of the year.
I don't know. Did I say end of the year? Oh, sorry. It's probably looking more likely to be the start of 2025. So we've got a few things in the pipeline with regards to virtual conferencing. So I'm not quite sure how we're going to do it yet, but there's definitely going to be some kind of virtual conference series or some kind of like mega conference that contains some, smaller conferences. I'm not sure how we're going to do it yet, but anyway, this it's going to be like centered around some like some serious cryptography, really hardcore. The PhDs in the space, everybody, the serious research papers, all these kinds of people. So we want a conference solely focused on those types of people. Forgive me for not explaining that very well, but I'm extremely tired today. We also want one focused on kind of like Bitcoin, BitVM, or I don't know, but just Bitcoin L2s in general, and trying to bring these people together and get something going with that. And I also want something a lot more broad. So kind of just like similar to our previous virtual conference. I kind of want to not do that again. I want to do something where we're making zero knowledge more accessible and understandable to people. So the previous two conference ideas aren't going to do that at all. They're going to probably do the opposite. Nobody beyond the people actually working in the space is going to understand much of what's said in those conferences. But I also want to hold something that's specifically targeting a more general audience, and just trying to make understanding ZK, what's happening with the projects in the space, more accessible, more understandable. And you don't need to have, this heavy ZK background to be able to understand what the people are saying. They need to try to dumb it down a little bit. And there's a lot of people who want to understand ZK, who want to get into the space, who want to understand these projects, who want to invest, whatever. And they're kind of just excluded from even being able to understand what the space is all about, the whole ZK industry. So I want to just try and make it a lot more understandable to people. But this is interesting, this BitVM Alliance. So sorry.
It would be quite amazing getting them. I'd love to. I think I'm on a Bitcoin kick the past few months, just trying to understand what's going on there. And their UTXO models are often used in a lot of other ZK projects. So it's nice to go speak to, Bitcoin as the grandfather, kind of figure out what their ecosystem is, because the entire culture seems so different from their NFTs to the general infrastructure and the use cases that come from it. So if I have a panel like that, I think it'll be a bloodbath between the companies, but it'll be extremely interesting to watch.
Well, it's interesting that these people are like forming what they're calling an alliance. I mean, you say bloodbath, but it's like if they're working together, then so building the future of finance.
I don't mean them specifically, but the ecosystem as a whole. Gotcha.
Building the future of finance and the internet on Bitcoin with ZK and BitVM too. So Fiamma is another. In fact, we need to chase them up. But yeah, they could also be sitting on the panel at ZK Hub. I don't think we've had a concrete response, but yeah, we're hopeful Fiamma's going to be attending too. BitVM2 specification, verify ZKP on Bitcoin with fraud proof. So yeah, there's a lot of projects doing this now, or at least trying to do it. I guess these are 5 of the main ones. The other one I'm aware of is Goat Network. So we could take a look at Goat Network. Again, they're the first Bitcoin L2 to offer sustainable Bitcoin yield. I mean, that's probably true. Actually, I don't know anybody else who's doing that. ZKVM powered native security. Okay. Beyond welcome, excited to welcome Reptile Press to the Goat Network team. Who's this guy? Oh, hang on. I recognize. Interesting. I actually recognize this guy.
Marketing lead.
Previously CMO at Vela Exchange. Interesting. So yeah, I mean, I was already aware of this hire, but I didn't realize I actually recognized the profile. Oh, anyway. So what else have we got going on? Goat Talk episode 1, how to build a killer ecosystem. That is happening tomorrow at 4 p.m. And that is going to include some absolute chads. Absolute goats. Chad marketer, Copernicus, interesting name. Some chap from Polygon. What does he do at Polygon? Co-founder, marketing leader. Oh, Daturian's NFT. Okay, so he's not from Polygon.
Hey, don't knock NFTs. They're the backbone of the crypto market.
I like how they've advertised this guy as being something to do with Polygon, and actually he's got a NFT project building on Polygon. But okay, whatever. Waggle, goated growth man. Yeah, I agree with that. Go roll up. Now be a goat and share. Okay.
What company is that part is he affiliated with? The post we just read.
Oh, this guy, Big
IPNC.
Nil Collect.
No.
That's
The
right.
other one. No. The main, Tracto. That orange one.
Orange one. Oh, this.
Yeah, I feel like this is like a super club of people. What company is that? Dapper Dan? And it can't be Dapper Dan. It's surely not.
Honeychat.
Honeychat.
The sweetest socialfi platform in the world, coming soon to Berachain, I'm guessing. The next
I
gen.
see a lot of
consumer
ambassadors
crypto.
coming from them. Yeah.
Mm-hmm. Gotcha. So what else is happening apart from Goat Talk? Goat Talk. BitPub again. Founders Club and Goat Herd. I think we covered that last time in the stream, didn't we?
The Founders
pretty-
Club,
pretty
I don't
quick.
think we mentioned, but that was mostly for developers and I believe people looking to incorporate and integrate with the Goat network.
Gotcha.
I have some documents if anybody's here and would like to know more. I've got some docs that I could send.
Cool. So the Goat Network testnet is live. They're inviting the best and brightest devs to build with them. Excited to announce the launch of Founders Club. What else is going on? The path to Goat. Choose a track. Founders select from 3 primary tracks. So request for proposal, retroactive rewards, user growth program. The application process consists of applying through the application form, which is on the post for anybody who wants to apply. Once applications are reviewed, selected founders will receive invitations via email to join exclusive founder chats. Have you ever joined any program like this yourself? Have you ever tried to found a project?
Yes, probably 6. So many for years, for about 3 years. That's what I did as a part-time thing. All these kind of stuff. I love it. There's so much, you meet amazing people, and if you take it seriously and really use the tools that you taught, can make incredible things that help people. It's amazing. I'd always recommend people, even if you've got things going on, just separate a few hours a week for it. It's very, very interesting.
Sorry, I will come back to what you just said. I can literally show you in real time. The issue that I was having before the stream with this post, I can now show you in real time. So you click on it, you're meant to be able to see the latest version of it after I updated it. And
Yes.
it says you're currently reviewing the latest version. Oh, but look, I'm not. And I don't have the functions to be able to delete it, edit it, nothing like that. So then we click on that again, see the latest post. Same thing. There's a new version of this post. So I've never seen this before. It's like Twitter is bugging out on me. The only thing, I made a slight mistake with these. I actually don't think I made a mistake with this because there's no way I highlighted that word and missed out the last letter on both. I think it's like a Twitter bug when it posts. But essentially, it was pointed out. It was pointed out to me that these weren't bolded, these last letters, and I also put an extra T in YouTube. I must have typed too much, whatever. But so I edited it, and now we have this problem where I now have no access to be able to edit or delete this post anymore. And I've never seen this before. I think I must have posted. So on House of ZK alone, I've posted 854 posts. On my personal account, I've posted, I don't know, it must be many thousands on my personal account. And on other projects I work for, I've posted several thousand too. So, and I've never, ever once had this issue with posting something. So, yeah, absolutely crazy. Don't know what's going on. Back to the topic. So sorry. Have you had any success with any of these projects
these
that you've
projects.
tried to found?
To be honest, I've never really looked to take them. I think it's a different kind of game. It's really nice to do these things and build companies, but it's an entirely different ball game. Actually launching it, taking people's money in or facilitating money, the legal ramifications, and the marketing that goes around things like that. I enjoy coding, and I guess being a CEO sounds terrifying. you work for people at that point, I think.
Terrifying. I mean, I guess it's a matter of perspective. Position for me is just like a secondary issue. It's more. I guess if you're involved in a company, whether it's as a CEO or like a marketing lead or whatever position you're in, even if your job is just to try and make things work. You're trying to make the project successful, and you make the best decisions that you can, and you act. You do the best actions that you can based on those decisions. And I don't think it matters what position you're in. Your fundamental, like the fundamental way you operate should be pretty much the same. Maybe that's not the case if you're purely under other people's direction and you just have to kind of like carry out orders. I guess you're less involved in making decisions in that case, and you kind of just have to do the best you can to follow the direction of others. But if any of these positions that you have where you have some kind of autonomy or freedom, you've got one job. You've got to make the best decisions you possibly can, and do everything you possibly can to make it work. So
yeah,
I don't know.
yeah, I think more from like a I think from a founder, like you're also learning programs for like maybe a month. I don't think you can't go build the next big thing. You tend to build something that's probably been used before.
I think someone's at the door. Should we put this on hold, or should we just terminate the stream? Completely your choice.
Yeah, I'm done. I'm happy with what we went through today.
Okay, cool. So yeah, we're pretty much just over an hour anyway. So I think that's a good time to call an end to the stream.
Yeah.
I'm just wondering if feel free to jump off whenever you need to. Like I said, just had the door go, so it's up to you. But yeah, I may just I may continue with a couple of things, checking out some like recent news, things like that. So
okay, cool.
I'll
chat to you.
I've got 4 or 5. Yeah, sure, no problem. Okay, take care, Carl. Thanks for joining.
Cool. Yeah, thanks for having me.
So yeah, I still have I've got 4 or 5 minutes before I need to head off. So just wonder if there's anything else we can share. So we've got all of these ZK Hub posts coming out. So we're working very, very closely with ZK Hub, organizing this event. And essentially, new speakers for the event are being released every day. Pretty much, all the major players in the space are going to be there. So just announced Aztec, Polygon, RISC-0, ZKM. We have Kakarot. What else have we got? We have, again, that's Aztec, Polygon, Owen Labs, another co-host, along with the likes of Alio, RISC-0, Kakarot, and others. For anybody who's not aware, Owen Labs are the team behind Mina Protocol. So yeah, here we go, Mina Protocol. But yeah, so for more info on ZK Hub, this is essentially happening on the 10th and 11th of November in the lead up to DevCon. And the venue will be, let me just go on the website and share this tab. So the venue will be this SEAC Bangkok, and I believe that's very, very close to the main DevCon event. So you have essentially all of these side events within a single building, the SEAC, all in very close proximity, and you're able to, rather than having to trek all over the city and spend half your day traveling to get from place to place, you can come to ZK Hub and you have an absolute plethora of talks and workshops, interviews. There's so much going on, more than I can list off right now. But some of the attendees, some of the participants, the speakers, and there's more going up all the time. So I don't think everybody's been announced yet. Maybe it's halfway through announcing everybody so far. But yeah, a lot happening at ZK Hub. And you can get involved by going to zkhub.io. So that is that. What else did I want to briefly talk about? We covered Highly. And we will try to, if you're still listening, we will try to fix your post once we get off stream. But unfortunately, we still have the same issue currently. Today we also released a presentation from our virtual conference by Jeroen van der Graaf, PhD. He's a senior cryptographer at ZKM. And you can find that on our profile and on our YouTube page. And Jeroen essentially talks about the entangled rollup design, and he's been studying this for a very, very long time. It's essentially a way to make blockchains interoperable trustlessly. So look into that one. Various interviews and things. I think it's pretty much ZK Hub that I wanted to cover. So we'll probably end the stream here. You can check out our recent highlights. We posted a recent highlight thread yesterday covering pretty much news from the past week. This is House of ZK focused, by the way, not just like general industry news. We do those too, but this is all of our latest news, like our podcast releases, article releases, etc. But I think I'll end it there. We've covered pretty much everything else. So if you stuck around from the beginning, and thank you very much for joining. And take care.